back again. Salamat. Hello, guys. Okay, I'm going to do another quick video, see if I can do it in under 4 minutes. This one's going to be about ABS, which is Auto-Brewery syndrome, or otherwise known as Auto-Intoxication and other names, I'm sure. It's one of those things that actually is where your body produces alcohol, which is what fungus and yeast do. That's where it comes from, that's where alcohol comes from. But it generally oftentimes comes from the drunkenness and the hangover, which I can attest to from somebody that had a long career of drinking many years ago. It is something that is prevalent, the feeling of nausea, the feeling of drunkenness, of course. I mean, just we all know what those feelings are, and those are, of course, induced by fungal mycotoxins. That's where it comes from, that's what alcohol is. But people actually get this that don't drink. I've had it. I haven't had a drop of alcohol in almost 9 years now. No desire. We could talk about that in another video. And there's ways to, in my view, I've been cured for that time. I'm not recovering, I've been cured, and there's a good reason for that, and it has to do with fungus and how to attack that. The same goes for the Auto-Brewery syndrome. And how does it happen? Well, oftentimes it happens once again, back to antibiotics. Antibiotics go in and they destroy the proper gut flora, the bacteria that you've got to have for proper nutrient absorption, for food, for assimilation of that food. And what happens is the yeast actually takes over, whether it's the brewer's yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, or the other Candida. The yeast takes over the gut flora because the antibiotics have killed off, generally speaking antibiotics, but the antibiotics have killed off the balance of the gut flora, and the yeast just overgrows and takes over. And those yeast produce alcohol. They produce that ethanol. So there you go. It goes right into the bloodstream, and all of a sudden, what do you know? You're making your own alcohol. And like there's been many cases by now that people have been stopped and had the breathalyzers done, and they've actually had 3-4 times what the legal limit is, never taken a drop. That can happen. I know one person closely that has had this, and I tried really hard to get them to go to the doctor and get proper antifungals, but for whatever reason they went a different route, but it's taken a lot longer, but at least they've overcome it by the sounds of it. And they used Lugol's, which was a suggestion that I strongly suggested, but again at small doses, so it took probably a couple of years to get over it, and it should not take it. It'd be something that should be able to be overcome within a month or so, at least be able to tell if you're on your way. So that's going to be about it. It's a real quick one here. What do you do? What are the things to do? Again, I'll go back to the Kaufman antifungal diet, the phase 1 diet. The diet's been around 40 years. He's perfected it. It's like a pre-paleo, pre-keto. He's the man that started it all, as far as I'm concerned. That nails the things, and it's a diet that's loaded with things that you can have. It can be an enjoyable diet, but it cuts out the things that feed fungus and feeds cancer and other things like that, including diabetes, including heart disease. So it's an excellent diet to consider. And I'll leave a link on the bottom here, but that's from knowthecause.com. And right on there, on his site there as well, you can get a doctor's protocol where you can actually take those papers, run off 2 papers, take it into your doctor, and it'll give a description of what Doug cites in his experience and what type of antifungals to use. Because most doctors, honestly, however it sounds, 98% of doctors are clueless when it comes to antifungals and the truth about it. So anyway, so the antifungal diet that he does, the fluconazole, for instance, for 30 days, not just 1 or 2 pills. It's got to be done systematically and consistently for at least a little while. And probiotics, of course, when you destroy the gut flora, you've got to get that back, and you can't get it in little baby doses. They got to be in huge doses. When you take a couple doses of antibiotics, you've got to replace that. You're losing that by the hundreds of billions. So keep in mind, a good probiotic has got 50 billion. So if you take a few doses of antibiotics and you kill off a few trillion, you got to take a whole bottle just to make up for a few days doses of antibiotics. So you got to get after it. You got to hit it hard. Otherwise, there are other avenues to do that you should go along with the diet, which is, again, Lugol's iodine. When used properly, just Lugol's alone, let's say 5%. This has been known for years, but I'm not going to suggest it. So I'll just say this: what some of the sites have said, and I've used it myself in other suggestions for other people, and have seen it work well. And that's 5 to 6 drops of 5% iodine 3 to 4 times a day, and for several weeks, and you'll see cases and read about cases that things like this have been overcome. Systemic yeast infections, vaginal yeast infections, brewers, auto-brewers syndrome as well. So I'll end it at that. So we'll see you again. Salamat. Take care.